Hey y'all, welcome back to Babe and Library. It's your girl Lisa, and today I'm here for week 2 of Noir November, and what a week. So this week I had, essentially it was a novella week. So I started off this week by trying to read an arc that was not going to fit in my Noir November prompt, but I had a reading deadline and I absolutely hated it. And it was so bad that it was on the verge of putting me in a slump. And I said, okay, what can I do to get the train back on the tracks? Because right now, baby, we are going down. And so I said, what is the easiest thing that I can do? So I hopped into a set of novellas that I listened to on audio for my audio prompt, my Black audio with narrators. So I actually read the entire Them Boys series by Alexandria House. Yeah, my glass is already fogged up and I ain't even gotten to this theme yet. So I read the entire trilogy of these novellas. And again, this is going to, although I have a novella prompt, this is actually going to be for my audiobook because this was narrated by Wesley Siobhan and Jacoby Deonn. And it was magic. So the first book in this series is Set. Whew, Set is my favorite. Like, she came out the gate bussing. Alexandria House said, I know, Lisa, that you don't really care for novellas because I'm not a insta love type of girl, and usually they have a small window to kind of get the whole love story wrapped in. But Set just did it for me. It set it off. So it was a whole complete book slapped into a short setting. So I think it was about 2 hours and 18 minutes of an audiobook. It was on my Hoopla account, but this is a older hero and older heroine. So they are 41, which I love to see. I am 33, and so I am out of the phase where I'm looking for your new adult romance, your early 20s. I need something older and mature and settled. And this did it for me. So the main character is Karima. She is a 41-year-old woman who owns her own business. She has a daycare business that she runs. She also is a grandmother. Her daughter Tori is a spoiled brat, but that's neither here nor there because the story isn't about her. It is about Karima and Set. Set is a former professional boxer who owns his own gym in Las Vegas, and this has a travel romance. So they were going back and forth between cities. It is hot as hell, so hot in terms of the steam and the spice. They actually went to high school together, and they never really ran in the same crowd, but Trisha, who is Karima's best friend, kind of set her up for the high school reunion, and there she goes in and she sits down at the table and she meets Set. And Set already knew who she was, but nobody really messed with Set because like everyone was afraid of him. But what they don't know is, yeah, he's that guy. He'll put the paws on you, but in the same token, he has a heart of gold for the people that he loves. And this is the he falls first trope. And when I tell you that I fell in love with Set, and that just goes to show you, because typically in a novella, I don't really feel anything for the characters. I'm just there for a good time, not a long time. And this was a complete story that she was able to wrap me up in, and I absolutely loved it. It is funny. It is very relatable. This was top tier novella status for me. So after I finished Set, I jumped into the second book because that had to do with Trisha, the best friend, and little bro Ja. So Ja is a big beefy guy, right? Like, he is the youngest, but he is the biggest brother. He owns his own mechanic shop. So one thing I'm gonna tell you is Alexandria House makes sure all of her people are good. Like, all her men own their own businesses, have their own establishment, got they're doing their thing. These black men are holding it down. And the women are, you know what I'm saying, they boss babes in their own right. Now, some of them may be down on their luck, but not for long. And so Trisha is the best friend of Karima, who you meet in the first book. Trisha she's my gal, right? Like, she tell it how it is. And the one thing I'm going to say about this book is, if you don't like cheating, don't pick it up. This is a cheating romance in terms of, I'd say about 75% of the book, Trisha got a man. But her man not doing her right. He been messing up for a very long time. And you know, when you finally getting ready to, you know, step out the door, they want to get they act together. Trisha don't have that type of time. So she meets with Ja, and they kind of, you know, have been hemming and hawing around, you know, trying to not make it what it is. And lo and behold, they've been schmanking. And Trisha's like, hey, I need to get away because my man is really getting on my nerve. And she goes to meet up with Karima and Set in Las Vegas. And who is there but Ja, right? And this was after she tried to cut the man off. She was like, nah, I'm not doing this no more. I'm done. And, you know, when y'all happen to be in close proximity, and the feelings are there, it's going to happen. When I tell you this was nasty, this was nasty. Like, this is Mr. Nasty Time. Like, this book took it to a new level. But what I will say, as you go on in the series, there are content warnings you want to be aware of. Alexandria tends to make it heavier as time goes on. But this is an older woman, younger man trope. So again, if you don't like cheating, this isn't the book for you. But if you like seeing that older woman, younger man, reverse age gap, this is a good one for you. Some of the trigger warnings is she can't have children, so talks about miscarriages. You will see that there is some drama that happens at the end of the book that was impeccable. I was surprised about how she ended it. I said, oh, you went there, huh, Miss House? This is a plus size heroine, so there's representation there. And that's all I'm gonna say, because again, this is a very, very quick set of books. So the last one to round out the Them Boys series is Shoe. Now, I'm going to tell you, Set was, in terms of if I were to rate this as a collection together, Set was 5 stars for me. Ja was 4 stars. Unfortunately, Shoe was 2 stars. I didn't, like, again, Shoe and his woman, Denver, it is a big age gap. She is 25 and I believe he is 41. We don't have any invested relationship with Denver because she doesn't know Trisha or Karima, so we don't get that build up of, okay, we know the characters. And so they have an insta love, and again, I am not a fan of insta love with a novella, and I understand you have to be able to get it done really quickly. Denver meets Shu, who Shu is the quietest one, right? So he is the middle child. He doesn't really talk much. He's a workaholic, and he's probably one of the most damaged out of the brothers. But Shu, and I say that because not only did he deal with his dad, he worked within the military. So he has a lot going on with him mentally, but he meets Denver at his father's bedside. And so one of the things that I will tell you, that there is a underlining backstory between the brothers, because their father was physically and verbally abusive to them, and he now has dementia. So there's dementia representation in each one of the books. And so he meets Denver at the nursing home that his father is at because she is a CNA and she comes in every night to help his father. So she's down on her luck. She's had to live with her cousins. Financially, she isn't really stable. She has car trouble, and he was like, hey, let me help you out. And because I know you don't want to be in the situation you are, you're doing the best that you can. I am able to help and provide for you, and I like you, so I want you to be able to have the means to getting, to your job when you need to, doing what you need to. I have the ability to help you out. So, it's loss of a parent, loss of a child in this book. So I want you to make sure you all know that going in as well. Liked getting to see Karima and Seth and Trisha and Ja again, but this one just really, it didn't hold up for me in the series, but I was glad to be able to get to see who Shu was, because there was always a mystery about him. So after I read, binge read Them Boys by Alexandria House, I then was able to go see Tracy Deonn. She came to St. Louis, and I was able to get my book signed. And so I wanted to read Bloodmarked, and I needed to be able to get a refresher, right? I read Legendborn in 2020, and the amount of books that I've read since then, like, I knew it was top tier for me, but I couldn't remember every detail that happened. So I needed to reread Legendborn, and it felt just like home. I knew that the second go around, I was going to still appreciate the story. The first time around, I was Team Cell. This second time around, I'm Team Nick. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen in Bloodmarked, but I'm ready. So if you're not aware, Legendborn is a young adult book, and it has to do with this beautiful main character, Bree. Bree is an advanced student. She is 16, I believe she's 16, and she goes to UNC Chapel Hill as like an early start, because she's so gifted and so talented. So she's trying to find her way and navigate the world without having her mother. So her mother was recently killed, and she is undergoing a transformation in who she is, right? And so she goes to UNC to follow in the footsteps of her mother, who also went to UNC. And so this is a fantasy book that deals around a secret society that pretty much upholds the legend of Arthur. And lo and behold, she stumbles into a situation where she gets to find out more about who her mother was, and some involvement that really helps identify who she is as well. See the impacts of what it looks like when Black young women disrupt and dismantle racist practices. This is the book for you. And lastly, and so this could fit my Black fantasy prompt. I will put it in there now, but I will say, I do plan on reading Bloodmarked, so I'm probably going to switch that out. But I also read a novella, and this is going to actually stand for my novella prompt. And that is Warmth by D. Rose. So, every once in a while, Amazon does this email blast, and it was one of the times, I think last month, where they had 100 Black romance books that they were giving away for free. And I picked this one up because the premise sounded good to me. And again, I'm not really a novella fan, but I said, okay, it's free, it's Black, pick it up. Like, you don't have an excuse. You need to make sure that you're giving new authors a try. That's really what Noir November is about. It's just experiencing new Black authors. And I had never read anything by D. Rose. Baby, that's not going to be the case going forward, because I'm going to be picking up her stuff. This was an experience, right? So typically, I'm seeing more and more authors have playlists to go with their storylines. And this playlist elevated the game. Like, the playlist is gold, and it really did numbers for the beginning of the book, because this is a really quick book. It's an office romance between two co-workers. You've got Raj, and you've got Tessa. and they actually work in different offices. Raj is in Chicago. I don't know where Tessa is from, but it is a travel romance. So similar to Set in the fact that they don't live in the same city, but they make the relationship work because they're going back and forth from each location. Being that it is an office romance, it is a little messy. There comes a point in the story, which I actually didn't care for. Raj had a relationship with another coworker, and it was messy. And I didn't like that they kind of glossed over that. But outside of that, I will tell you the things that I liked about this book. This is probably a 3-star for me because it had some really high highs and some really lows for me. But as far as some of the things that I did like, she said steamy times for sure. Like, there is an in-office scene. If somebody comes into my office before I go to do a presentation, maybe I'm knocking it out the park. Promotion, snatch. Got it. Wigged, snatch. That scene was great. There was a FaceTime scene because, again, they are in 2 different cities. So sometimes when you have a long distance relationship, you still got to service your man, and he got to be able to make sure that you good. So now we're in an age of technology where that can be done, and they did it to perfection. So again, it is hot and spicy. D Rose knows how to make it work. This is another situation kind of similar to Set where he falls first. And he makes it plain and obvious. Like, he's not playing any games with Tessa. Raj is like, you my woman in my mind, and I want you. I know you have some reservations, but whatever it is, we can get past it. I will say this also deals with, having older and aging parents and needing to care for them. So we got to incorporate some of their family. So we got to see his sister and her relationship with her sisters. Like I said, this book was a 3-star for me. I couldn't figure out how to place it because I will tell you the ending happened abruptly. Like, I was reading and I was jamming, and then D Rose was like, that's all you get. And then she was like, okay, well, I'm going to throw you an epilogue. No, baby. I read all the epilogues, but for people who don't read epilogues, you just can't stop here. Like, even though this is a novella and you're trying to keep it short, you got to have an ending. So I did not care for the way in which D Rose wrapped it up. And I think we glossed over the coworker Monica situation because there were some things that were problematic within that that we needed to have a discussion about. But I will tell you again, if you're looking for Black romance, that you like office romance like myself, and you want to have some good steam, pick this up, give it a try, because I enjoy myself. And again, I will be picking up more from D Rose. So with that being said, that takes care of this week. Again, I just wanted to do quick, short, easy reading, and then reread a favorite, because I was on the way to a slope, and Noir November would have been over because that was gonna be it. That arc took me out. So now that I'm past that slumpiness and I'm back in the groove, hopefully this week is going to be much more fruitful. And I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.